Hey everybody, Joanna Lauer here. As a singer, an actress, and a Christian, I know just how important social media can be. It's a place where you can network and connect with new people, keep in touch with friends and family, you can promote your business and even spread the gospel. But social media can also be a place of negativity, stress, posts and images that believers just don't want to see. The solution? Savior Connect. Savior Connect is a brand new social media platform specifically designed for believers. Much like other social media sites, you can create your own free profile, add pictures, posts, and links, all without having to worry about seeing worldly images and messages. Savior Connect is the place where believers from all over the world can get connected. To create your profile, go to SaviorConnect.com today. Savior Connect, the Christian social network.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another segment of the Music Industry Makeover Podcast on Thursday nights. DJ Ronnie Ron here with you, D-Ray the producer, and our Keith is with us in the house. What's going on, everyone? How y'all doing?
Man, who in the heck let this Cowboy fan in here?
You know what I'm saying? Jesus did. I said, Jesus, can I get in? He's like, I'm gonna let you in this time, bro. Let you in this time.
Oh man, yes, our Keith, yes, on the west side, Texas, out there, Mr. Cowboy fans. Hey, we welcome you to the show. He's no stranger. He's been on and gonna give some valuable information along with man D-Ray, the producer. And hey, y'all go visit us at the musicindustrymakeover.com. If you're an artist out there, you need some assistance with your music to promote. Hey, we create platforms and we control the exposure out there. So hey, we want to put you in front of people. That's our goal. Okay, now if they like you, that's someone, again, it all depends upon the consumer. So make sure your stuff is good. That's all I can say. All right, that's marketing promotions. Oh yeah. So again, I want to thank all those who have supported and are being a blessing as well. Hey, Mary, how you doing? Who's been watching us for over 3 years now? Thank you. Her son Mike Jeezy doing some great things out there. Okay, and again, D-Ray the producer is doing some great things for sure. Hey man, anything you got going on coming up?
I do. Next week, I have an announcement of 2 releases that we have coming out this month. Very, very excited about another release that should go live in November, and some new things for 2022. So staying busy, and I'm excited about the night and about the conversation.
There we are. Exactly. Yes. And our Keith, make sure you put your information so we can put it up there so how people can get in contact with you.
Okay, no doubt.
All right. Awesome. Again, they're doing some great things out there. So, hey, y'all spread the word, and we encourage all your questions and comments, okay, because you know how we roll here. We mainly focus on the marketing and promotions and just give y'all some tips, but we talk about the industry and other things out there that's going on so that you can stay informed. And so, hey, this is what we do. There's a lot of information that's circulating out there, and people giving, I guess, wanting to be experts on certain things, but hey. Make sure the information is accurate. That's what I would tell you. Okay. Hey, check your information. Make sure it is accurate and so that you don't be misled over a strategy that's 30 years old that doesn't work anymore. So
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So all right, yeah.
Let me get that piano in the background now.
Yeah, I got that green screen. Yeah, man. Your piano man.
If I could piggyback on that real quick, everybody that has been watching the show that I've been on for the past year or so, all of y'all know that I have an MBA, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, even with an MBA, I don't know everything about the music business. Be very, very careful of people that tell you that they got the music business figured out.
Right.
Now I know enough that I can plot a course. I know enough that I can pretty much tell you what could happen, what may happen. But one thing that I do know about the music industry is that it's unpredictable, and that
Right.
the only thing that's predictable about the music business is that it's unpredictable.
There you
Because the
go.
stuff that you think should be a hit doesn't hit. The stuff that you was like, oh, this is garbage. This is
Oh my
garbage, and it'll
gosh.
never sell.
That is
It'll
so
go
true.
quit
Oh my goodness.
platinum.
Don't
You
even
know?
get me started.
Yeah.
That's
So don't just be careful about the experts. Okay. Everybody has an opinion.
There it is. Do your
That's
due
so
diligence. Hey, well said. Exactly. Yes, that's some real talk. Yes, do your due diligence for sure. Okay, and all information is not going to be free to you. So,
Hey,
yeah,
is my
you
mic
got,
still on?
yeah, yep, definitely. And so you have to invest in yourself for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got an array of topics we definitely want to discuss or so, and we may not get all of them or so, but yeah, we again feel free to jump in on the conversation as we do discuss that. And man, I don't know which one to start with. I know D-Ray had me curious about something that I had posted earlier earlier in the week.
Trying to figure out what you said now, huh?
I know, right? They disagree with, so I did okay. Oh man,
Let me go back and find the post real quick.
yeah. Hey, but while he's filing that, again, for those who don't know, we have Arquise on here,
What
who's
up?
who's a veteran in the legend in Christian hip hop game, and he has a wealth of information, especially when it comes to NFTs and music producing, and so as you see some of the equipment he has back in the background and things, and so hey, go ahead and drop some knowledge of what we were talking about earlier on. I'm just trying to think, man, what was that thing that we said?
We talk about so much stuff.
No, right?
NFTs, but we could, the music industry in a whole.
Yeah.
But I think for the artist as a whole, and I listened last week and we were talking about being paid, and I'm going to share something. How you can really let God move in your ministry and business without coming across as somebody who only talks about money. And even though you're not somebody who always talks about money, it can come across that way. So we learned that Christ-Side Soldiers, we learned that right out the gate. I think can't remember this guy's name, but anyway, listen. So basically what we did is we just said, get us there. And that could be a plane ticket, gas money, whatever it may be. And that really touched a lot of event people, outreach people, and churches because they were not accustomed to that. So right then and there, if they're telling you they're not accustomed to that, that should tell you something in itself. And the way we took that is that most people that they were dealing with were always about money. And so you got to look from people's who put on events perspective, especially you had traveling pastors who can really ding you in the pocket. You had a circuit of pastors that were passing who travel and get money. You had all these different, you got your regular gospel artists, whatever it may be. But it was the feedback that we got from pretty much everybody was it was refreshing to hear people who love God just say, hey, just get us there. Because our perspective was it's critical that you get us there so we can really be effective in what we're doing. And then I would say, oh, how much do you want? I'm like, no, just get us there. And if you feel God moves you to give us something, then fine. And if you don't, you don't. So immediately by doing that, we got more time, more access. We got more of everything. And it's funny, the bigger churches or the bigger events gave us the less money, but the churches that were smaller really came through because they really appreciated what we were doing. So I always tell people, like, you got an option. You can set a price rate, or you can just say, hey, look, whatever God puts on your heart. And that's saying a lot. That statement in itself, that's saying that you and that person are in sync with God about what they should give you. That person should be praying about it and letting God say, if God says give you $2,000, God's going to say it. I just believe that if two people are all on the same page with God, God's going to definitely do what he needs to do and make sure that you're blessed. You know, it shouldn't be a thought game, and it takes the stress out of it for the person doing the giving and the person receiving.
Agreed. All right. So that's the ministry aspect of it, pretty much,
Right.
basically.
Right.
So
now, when we did this stuff with Magic, that was a little different because Magic is not. His outreach was community based. We knew he had a budget.
now, when you say Magic, just tell them who. Which
Magic Johnson.
You can't just throw that. You just can't throw that one bias.
So
yeah,
a lot of people don't know the Christ-Sized Soldier started in the Bay Area, and in the Bay Area, you know, of course, we were very outreach driven. Most of our ministry was in the juvenile halls, jails, and in the streets. That led us to be called more in LA because my family is all in the music industry. And when we started doing these outreaches with Magic Johnson, he was doing these big community outreaches at the time. He was really active in the community, building theaters and a lot of stuff. And they flat out, you know, his people would contact our people and be like, hey, you know, this is the budget. This is what we got. What do you need? And so, okay, fine. This is what we say. If you know, we always factor in flight and food and stuff like that. And then we say a number. And if they didn't like the number, they would know, here's what we got for you, because we might not be top billing or whatever it may be, but that's business. That's music business, you know? So that sets a precedent that anytime you call us to do something with a secular business or people like that, then you should expect that business is going to be conducted, versus if a church may call me for the youth group, and the church group and the youth group is always one of the most underfunded departments in a church. I'm not taking no money. I may take your check and put it right back in. So, you know, that's the differences between working with secular events and Christian events, how I worked at. And Magic at that time was really using Christian rappers a lot, you know, because at that time, you know,
wow,
it's Inglewood, it's Compton, you know, you have Bam Crawford's Bible and Richmond Church really actively involved. So,
man, well, man, that's what I love about that street outreach ministry right there. And y'all had some heavy hitters out there, T-Bone, Idol King, others and things, man, doing. Hey, that's what I enjoy doing all across the world and going into the hood or so. And that's where we have to show the distinct difference between ministry and industry. And
gotta do it.
Either one is fine, but I think we just always run into that issue to where we are confusing the two. And it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna need X amount of dollars, or I ain't coming to minister to you.
Well, and I think that's the problem. It's because there was no industry when we started.
Right, that's a good.
There wasn't even a Christian rap genre yet. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why it was more authentic, because there was nothing. There wasn't even iTunes yet. There wasn't even iTunes yet. You know what I mean? So it's hard for people who didn't grow up. You know, like they tell you, like the fight between right now, like the boom bap nation versus current hip hop, social media hip hop. They constantly are beefing and battling, because you got boom bap nation over here saying you're not respecting the 5 elements, and you've got the social media artists saying you old heads, and they're trying to say, no, it's not about being old heads. You're damaging the movement, the culture of hip hop. It's the same thing within Christian rap. Early on, we were saying, hey, we see some things coming that's going to damage Christian rap. If we don't make changes, there are going to be consequences. And now we're seeing the consequences.
Very, very, very much so, man. That's a good illustration right there. And so it just, you know, as we always say, know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Right.
Okay. And then, you know, you'll never be misguided, or there won't be any fusion going on, because again, you know exactly why you're doing this. And so and unfortunately, a lot of artists don't know their why, and then when they want to get into the business aspect of it, they figure, hey, I could do a career out of this. And which again, if hey, it's hard.
It is now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's a lot harder nowadays getting in, well, especially for a Christian hip hop artist compared to a mainstream artist. Let's just be real. Because it was a lot tougher for you all even back then. But
oh my goodness, they have no idea, bro.
No, man.
They have no idea.
You know, so I'm just like, man, okay, you know, how who do you know exactly is doing this full time that's actually making money off of this
outside of Reach Records?
If that's
outside of artists that are with Reach Records, I can't say a whole lot. You know, people have to understand that COVID decimated the music industry as a whole. So if you were not, and streaming is pennies. So you got to really understand, like, right before COVID, you know, you had Reach doing these big shows. The one in Houston was massive. They're pulling in. You got to remember these new labels that cross platform. When I say cross platform, that means regular people like them. You know, and their ticket sales ain't just, you know, Christians. It's a lot of secular people that just was going to see Andy and everybody else. You know, and a whole slew of other artists. You know, so COVID came in, just kicked people in the teeth.
Exactly. Caused you to pivot.
Right. So for doing it full time, I mean, I know we definitely were blessed enough to do it for two full time for almost 5.
Wow.
And you know, and that was great. And that had to strictly do with Japan, because it's a money game. So that opened up money we were not used to getting.
Now, talk to us about that. How were you able to get over to Japan as a Christian rap group, man?
Let me tell you. First of all, I think we were the first Christian rap group. Let me just go ahead and pop my collar on that one. Put some Bay Area swag on it. So what happened is I had a solo album called Arquise. The Arquise album was a blend of R&B and Christian rap. Not intentionally, it just happened that way. I didn't know it was selling overseas. So if you deal with CD Baby and you had a lot of product, the girl who's working it with me basically said, "Hey, we need to replace your product." I said, "I just sent them a couple of hundred." But like, no, they're asking for, you know, 1,000. I'm like, "What do you mean 1,000? Who's asking for 1,000 CDs?" Some record store in Japan. And then, you know, it just kind of, we had to buy equipment to press up the product because I'm lazy and don't want to. I'm lazy and didn't want to do it. So we ended up buying everything out of the money we were getting from Japan. And then I prayed. This is the craziest story. I was praying. I was like, "Lord, I don't know what's happening, but I do know Japan is almost one of the most difficult places to get to and tour." I said, "But just make something happening because Christian rap is moving in Japan." That week, I was working at Mid Valley Youth Center. As you guys know, I'm a youth counselor as well. I do a lot. It's off. It's as work and in ministry, working with youth. So Pastor Crouch, God bless his soul, youth director at the time was one of the homies named Kenny. Used to be an ex-NBA player. Comes to me and says, "Hey, I want you to meet somebody. Man, you know, you're doing such an amazing thing here. Need some great people I want you to meet." I show up. It's Pastor Mari and Kimiko from Japan. So when I walk in, I'm sitting down. I'm like, I said, "Where are you guys from?" They said, "Japan." Like, when I tell you my heart was beating fast, because I only prayed that last week. I said, "Lord, when you want your will to be done, you make it clear." Bro, they right then and there, we was talking. They talked about the ministry, what they saw us doing here in LA with other churches and Magic and everybody. He said, "We need you in Japan." I said, "I'm ready." That next month, I was out there and we opened up at the Sangawe Music Festival, the first Christian rap group. Matter of fact, I think we're still the first rap group in period that had been out there. But first hip hop, first Black representation at this Sangawe Music Festival, and it was cool, and it was history after that. So everything had to beg them to ship more product. Man, that was a crazy experience. And then, of course, 5 years later, joining Heavenese and Pastor Crouch doing his thing, and everyone else getting involved. So yeah.
Wow. So man, that was a blessing right there. And then you just pretty much built a fan base from there. Again, for because you put out some great music, and that's what I'm gonna tell you, artists. Hey, you got to invest in your craft. Yeah. As you heard them say earlier, they spent their money, put it back into, and they
we never kept any of the money. We made a rule that if money came in, we spent it on equipment.
That's smart. That's hey. That's very smart, and again, you're investing in yourself. Bottom line. So, the principle has never changed. The process is not going to change, no matter how many years, however the music industry may fluctuate or so. You got to invest in yourself, market and promote. Okay, see the future. And
they just don't like the cost. That's the difference between now and then. Back then, we had no problem with the cost. When they said, "Oh, you got to buy MPC 4,000," and they told you how much it was at that time, what, $3,000-$4,000?
Wow.
You had to get 2 or 3 jobs to pay for it. You know what I mean? It just was what it was. Or
you tried to sign up for that credit account Many of us can actually qualify for.
That's what I.
You know, they look. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it
real.
We all sitting in there trying to get that credit account, and none of none of your homeboys could ever qualify for it. None of mine could.
That's why I have 4 jobs.
Boy, somebody gonna have to figure something out.
The good time center only give you like $500.
Right. So what I'm gonna do with this?
Everything was expensive back then. They didn't have the inbox. They had Pro Tools was the full system, so you couldn't. There was no like we have now, the smaller versions of that.
I know the time period you're talking about. A CD burner back then was about $2 or $3 grand.
Yeah, it was.
Yes. I do.
Yeah.
Oh yes, man. If you had a CD burner, man, you was in heaven, man. You was the kingpin. Like, yes.
CD burner, the rap machine, the printer for the people don't understand how blessed they are right now to be in the period they're in. They didn't have to pay the cost to be what they want to be.
And then on top of that, market and promote yourself out there as well.
Way more expensive. Oh my God.
Yeah. Because back then, with no social media, you literally had to get out there and put boots on the ground.
Yes.
So you're talking about posters. You're talking about flyers. You're talking about hand cards. You're talking about
They don't know about street teams. They don't know about street teams.
Yes.
Look, I put in my time. But yeah, so, and like you said, all of that stuff was expensive. Even going to Kinko's was kind of complicated.
Oh yes,
I'm telling my age too.
Hey, Kinko's was a spot before FedEx bought them. Yeah,
look, back in Greensboro when the Kinko's was 24 hours, that was the spot when all of us got off work. Let's go do these flyers, or somebody try to sneak and do some flyers on their job. That was normally me, but you know, hey.
Yeah, but again, it's all part of promotions, y'all. You know, again, investment.
You had to have, and I was in the Bay at the time, and so you know, the Bay Area was literally much pop the trunk, selling CDs out the trunk, you know, because you had
that's right, Mary.
You had a lot of the independent guys out there, but you had to have a wrapped van. That was a must. Like no one even took you serious if you didn't have a wrapped vehicle. Like, what you gonna do? Pull up and like so literally wrapped SUVs and like the cost was so expensive back then. But that's why people worked harder, because there's no way you're gonna spend 10 grand, 20 grand, you know what I mean, on all this stuff and not do it. Wasn't even an option.
Wow, definitely.
Might be divorced after that.
You're absolutely right, man.
Come on now. Hey, we want to definitely we're having a conversation talking about several different things. We want to move the needle to this right here. The Preacher's Wife movie soundtrack is the best-selling album in the gospel music category.
Who put that out? Who put that album out?
Warner Brothers did.
Of course,
Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
because I think that was part of the same movie deal Miss Houston had when Bodyguard came out. Not before that. Yeah, that was same part of that deal.
Right? Yeah, there it is.
That makes sense.
Best-selling gospel album of all times, and she's not necessarily a gospel artist.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I really thought about this, and I'm glad we're talking about it, is that something that my man said earlier off camera. The numbers can be deceiving. Yeah. And you know, you look at that and you go 6 million. Why aren't people buying gospel? They're still buying gospel. A lot of them have, like, if you I hate to even bring this up. A lot of the quartet groups, right? They might not chart. They might not keep a record of how much they sell. Right. But I guarantee you, a good quartet group with minimum name recognition, no way they wasn't walking out with a couple of thousand.
There's no way. Yeah.
Right.
No way.
Yeah. Right. Hey, Carlos said best-selling album for the worst movie ever.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it, is when it comes to these sales, people have to remember that gospel music, first of all, bootlegging is still real. Gospel music is still one of the few genres that can legitimately, you know, if I go downtown LA, if you want to see if your album is good, if they're bootlegging you already, that's an indicator. When you go to these little swap meets and stuff, they bootleg what's hot, and
Right.
it wasn't a good day when we first saw our stuff there. We go down to the LA garment district, and then you go into the alley, and then you see and they bootleg whatever they think they're going to sell. But still today, gospel music can generate more money than secular music to me, because secular music is too focused on streams, and you still got Christian bookstores, maybe not in the numbers that we used to have before,
No.
but a lot of gospel people still play CDs in their cars. People aren't always that tech savvy to be trying to Bluetooth it. No, it's not like that. So gospel music is a good business opportunity as far as making money. I'd say you have a better chance of being more successful in gospel music making money than you would in secular any day.
Yeah, and I think that what we're seeing, and maybe I'll find this article next time, is that now they're starting to crack down on a lot of these entrepreneurial, especially musicians. When you come in and you make all this money and you're not reporting it, you're not paying taxes on it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that thing that President Biden is talking about, that now that any transaction over $600, they want to know where you got it from.
Yeah,
there's a sign that if you're getting paid under the table, hey, they're looking for you.
There you go.
They're looking for you.
All the musicians are getting most of the musicians get paid through Cash App and Venmo and all that stuff. So
yeah.
Hey, we did gospel, so hey, here's the number one Christian selling album of all times.
I knew that was going to be there.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Oh, absolutely.
There's always been debatable about her. Was she truly Christian? This and that. Nah, but hey, it is what it is.
It was the image.
The image of it.
No matter what she truly was, it was the image. That's what they call, quote unquote, the good, wholesome Christian girl.
Yeah.
That image.
Everyone would listen to that song in school. Hardcore rockers, B-boys. I don't know what it was about that track. It had a groove in it, man. That was just
It did. I think it had a couple mixes to it as well.
Yeah.
So it just shows that you can make it if you know what I'm saying, if you really are serious about marketing and promoting. I mean, those albums that we mentioned, they already have fan bases. So as we always say, you got to build your fan base, y'all. It's simple as that, regardless of what you're selling. Go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up, DJ Ron.
I think I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
So earlier this week, I just lost it. Hold on, here it comes.
Was it about touring?
Yeah. So Ronnie Ron posted this a few days ago when he said touring is for established artists. Who knows you? I'm gonna push back a little bit on that.
Please do. Let's talk.
Because
what was the context again? Wait, touring?
He said touring is only for people that know you. You know what I mean? And who knows you? And I'm gonna push back a little bit, because part of being an independent artist is really getting out there and meeting the people. And so the way that the music industry is set up now, even if you're what's going on, Orlando? Even if you're going into a town that they may dig Christian hip hop, they may dig urban gospel, whatever the case may be, part of the grind, as you will, is going into a city, publicizing your show, doing the show and hoping that you get some good, decent ticket sales and some decent merch sales. That's part of the business. And so I can't tell you how many times, even in my little sleepy town, outside of Charlotte, that we have independent artists that come through, that they found the one venue that they can rent out. They go to the barbershops, they still put up their flyers. They may have a nice, decent social media campaign or whatever, and they're doing it to establish, they're putting in the work, basically. So now, is it hard? Absolutely. I don't know my man down here, but I can tell you stories about in early 90s where the group that I was with, we accepted a gig, and the promoter said $200, and it's 8 of us. We thought all 8 of us was getting $200. No,
No.
All 8 of us had to split that $200,
Yeah.
right? And it was the same time that this restaurant called Hardee's had this 8 pieces of chicken for $5.99. And we were some chicken eating dudes on that tour because
Like
we was
Soul
all
Train.
we was all broke.
Don Cornelius, hey,
You know,
man, a box of chicken.
exactly. So back to the, I see where you're going with that as far as establishing a fan base, but the actually the art of touring, that's really how it's always been done. From whether it's the blues, whether it's jazz, whether it's whatever, you go into town, nobody knows you, you make a name for yourself. So
and I think with the touring, what happens is if you are if you play guitar and you sing solo, it's not rocket science. You need to find out. You can create your own tour within your own city. So the kind of the rule of block is own your city.
Right.
Own your block, own your city, own your state, and then and you expand it from there. So touring, even for me, is just about touring is about how much work you want to put in. At the end of the day, it really is what it is. Because if you don't have a team and it's just you, how much work are you going to put together to put your tour together? Now, back in the number one complaint I hear from Christian rappers is, and this guy talked to me last week, is in my time, in the early periods of it, myself, the committee, Seven has been around. Myself, the committee, Seven, Aesop. There was the Bay Area had a locked group of Christian rappers, and you could tour. Everyone would get together and say, "Hey, let's do a tour together." And that's the number one complaint I hear from Christian rappers, that people are so worried about their spot or collaborating that they're not willing
to
pride and put tours together, because A, there's a big difference between social media Christian rappers and B, Christian rappers who are out there actually rapping. You're going to get on tour with a dude that's out here really rapping, and you're a social media rapper. So there's fear about experience level. So you got a lot of people that aren't ready to tour. They only are good on social media. So they get tired in 2 songs. They can't run out of breath in 2 songs. You know what I mean? So, and I've seen that. Matter of fact,
that too.
My boy, I'm not even gonna put him on blast. If a lot of people don't even know about the Arquise and the Food for Thought project, but one of the members of the group is a multi-platinum producer now. He's famous. And he said to me, bro, he said, these social media rappers are trash. I said, well, why you say that? They're so popular. He goes, dude, they can't tour. He said, no, we can't take it. We try. We've been trying to take these guys on tour, and you should see them on stage. It is a mess. So they stopped signing social media artists.
Wow.
Yeah, he said they're trash.
Well, that was the purpose of A&R back then. Excuse me, artist development.
Right.
And so, and Motown was very good. Barry Gordy did an excellent job with that. So, wow, man, that is.
I mean, if you think about it, and you really, really, really think about it, even as far back maybe as Bad Boy, when Puffy was doing his thing in the late 90s, early 2000s, Bad Boy was like a finishing school if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? You think about Usher before Bad Boy and then Usher after Bad Boy. You know what I mean? There was a metamorphosis somewhere. Yeah. And that's what's lost. Like we commented last week, people aren't looking for talent anymore. They're looking for fan base.
That's it.
That's why these social media rappers get so much attention, because they have a fan base.
Yeah.
If you got a 2 or 3 million, fan base, and you can get out there and, like we were saying earlier, you sell a song for 99 cents. All you need is 40% of your fan base to buy it. You're good.
You're good.
And it's funny because, Ron, I don't know if you remember me saying it. Here's my suggestion to people who really think they got something going, right? Listen to what I'm about to tell you. On Spotify and other platforms, only allow 30 for streaming. Put a streaming album, like I'll do Spotify. I'll say TGIF. Each song is going to play for 30 seconds, right? I'll release the second album, full album, download only. Why in the heck am I going to let you stream this whole freaking song and get pennies? If you want pennies, I'm going to give you pennies worth of music.
That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I've been really pushing people like, yo, they are ripping us off. Let's even the playing field. Do an album that is specifically for social media. That's just a sample album. Back in the day, we should do snippet.
We sure did. Listen to the CDs. Yeah.
We did that for a reason.
Yeah.
We didn't want you to no, we would give you a couple of, we put these snippet CDs together and then had, whatever, because we knew it was a loss. But here we'd go to Venice Beach or be in the Bay and we would hand out thousands and thousands of these snippet CDs and we would absolutely see that in sales. You know what I mean? Let off it was upcoming show, the early stages of iTunes when it was download only and no streams. So now you got a tough choice with Spotify and some of these other ones. Do you give them full songs that they're not going to really pay you for, or do you give them a taste, give the audience, like I'm saying, you hot, you good, or do you give them a taste and force them to buy the download? Because I think you win with the download. 500 downloads versus 500 streams.
That's easy math. And guess what? The industry knows that's easy math. You guess what's going away in about a year? The iTunes store.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to buy downloads in about a year or so.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so
advertising revenue.
Right. And so, and they're telling people that, most of the public really wants access more than they want ownership. You know what I mean? And so then they're making it harder for artists to set up their own stores for your own downloads, you know what I mean, and your own product. And so it's almost like the entire industry we feel like cattle being led to slaughter because we're all being pushed down this one thing, and so yeah.
Bro, you brought up the great point, because I'm about to go there for its ownership versus access, and with that shutting down, and so it even with because whenever I DJ, because I use the algorithm DJ program, they're no longer with Spotify anymore, so now I got to go with somebody else. I think Beatmark or Beat Source or whatever,
right?
And I'm just like, wow, man. Yeah, things are definitely changing.
It's changing. And that's why Spotify, Apple, whatever they call their streaming platform, all platforms are afraid of NFTs because they're terrified of NFTs because you got Tory Lanez going platinum in six seconds or something ridiculous.
It was incredible that he sold out in less than an hour.
Blew the industry to pieces with that, because it basically undermined streaming, and it actually puts all the money back in his pockets. And the way the contract is set up with the sponsor site he used, I think he gets 10%, because once these people buy it, they can turn around and flip that NFT. So it keeps selling. They sell it. It's crazy, bro. The money is crazy.
And like when we talked about that before, one of the guys, I think I was watching his video, and he was saying that he's telling his kids now that, in the next 10, 15 years, you won't need an entertainment attorney anymore. You're going to need a coder. You're going to need a coder with a law degree.
Yeah.
Right? Because of these smart contracts.
Yeah.
The thing with the NFT is very, 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 very interesting, because, those of us who have gotten royalty checks before, that sometimes the industry can pick what quarter they're going to pay you. Mm-hmm. They can try to say, oh, well, we were only monitoring in the Southeast. You weren't really, even though you were playing in the Northwest, we might not, you know what I mean? There's always little tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
That NFT though, Tory got that money that day.
Wow.
Instant. So you're talking about $2 or $3 million hit his account that day.
Oh my goodness, bro!
Wait a minute, we talking about liquid money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like liquid money hit his account that right then. Yeah.
And based off, if you allow Bitcoin or NFT to buy in, that money actually can be more based off what that market is at the moment when it sell. The
Right.
money potential is ridiculous.
Right. Like if you have $10,000 in Bitcoin and something happens and it shoots up to 300 or 400%, like it did earlier this year with GameStop. You know,
Right. I
them
want
guys
that.
got them guys got together with GameStop, and if you had $1,000 in GameStop, you walked away with a couple of $100,000.
You didn't work that year.
You don't work that year. You know, but this is what happens when the music industry, the major music industry, gets so top heavy that you're too heavy to innovate now.
Right.
The industry can't do anything about the NFTs now.
Nothing.
You know, it's nothing that they can literally do. Can you imagine if Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay-Z, the top heavy artists in the industry, they decided, you know what? We don't need a contract anymore. We're going to release 1 million NFTs.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're going to charge $1,500, $2,000 per NFT, and we're only going to have 1 million of them.
And the reason you don't see it now is everybody has to understand, if all artists right now are under some kind of contract, and those contracts are blocking them from doing NFT moves. They can make you can make a move and then turn around and end up in a lawsuit. But I guarantee you, in the next couple of years, you're going to see that NFT shift, because here's what people aren't aware of: the NFT glasses are coming out, where you can wear glasses. Gucci, Louis, all of these fashion houses, everybody's already shifting. So let's say you're walking down the street with these digital glasses on, you'll be able to see these outfits people are wearing. You'll see their shoes, their Louis bags. They're not real, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, it is.
But you'll be able to see these outfits through these glasses. You already see Facebook trying to edge their way in there with Ray-Ban. It's
Oculus,
the Oculus. So the reality is, this technology is moving so fast that people are trying to figure out. Now, the issue right now is there's not enough companies that will allow the selling part of it. There's only a few of them that are doing it. So, and there could be various reasons. One, they may not even have, there's technical stuff. So if you open it up, your how do you say it? Your warehouse, where all these drives are, whatever these drives are, where the stuff is going to be housed at.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
If you're a company that's going to open up an NFT record label, you have to understand how big these files are going to be when people start uploading these files and this artwork. So you can say, I'm going to open up an NFT label, but the reality is the storage space to do it is not going to be cheap. You're gonna have to spend some money to really get that up and going. And I think that's probably more of the problem, along with a lot of these labels, NFT labels, are waiting for the Rihannas and these people to come off of their contracts. They're holding back to get the bigger players to come on their platforms, so start doing these major releases. And then you're going to start seeing you start seeing more and more of these companies coming out, and you'll see goodbye CD Baby, goodbye TuneCore, goodbye.
Wow.
Because as we know, like we talked about, it's very, very few people that are dealing in NFTs right now, but one that is, and it's on everybody's phone in America, Cash App.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So theoretically now you can see a world in the next 15 to 20 years. Follow me now while I paint this picture.
Hold on one second.
Okay, I want him to get back. But the technology, let me paint this picture. You now have NFT glasses, right? That you can purchase, and you put the glasses on, and now you're in the artist world that the artist just created, right? That artist can be doing, that
through
the glasses.
Through those glasses,
exactly.
like you're watching virtual, those virtual,
literally like you're in the Matrix.
Wow.
Right? So literally now you can see these outfits, these NFT outfits that people have on. You can see content that's being streamed through this NFT.
I'm back.
And okay, I was painting a picture. of a future where a consumer can buy an NFT with the glasses and with the experience. You put the glasses on, and now you're in the artist world. Right. The artist can have his own wardrobe that you can purchase.
Man.
The artist can have a concert that you can digitally,
like Travis Scott did,
virtual reality, walk in with and pay tickets.
Wow.
The artist can set up its own virtual currency system within the NFT.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
He's cutting out the middleman, basically.
I'm telling you, the industry, and here's what I expect to happen, because bro, he's saying it right. Because remember, Travis Scott went on Fortnite and daggone did a concert.
Didn't I tell y'all that?
Yep, you sure did. Yep.
People don't understand, like, yo, this industry is moving faster than we. But see, here's what I expect. Knowing the music industry as a whole, I expect Warner Brothers, Sony, and all other major platforms getting together on The Secret, talking about how we're going to stop this.
Because it's messing with their pockets.
It's messing with their pockets. It's not in their benefit. I guarantee you that.
How we going to benefit from it?
See, that's going to be tough for them, because how do you benefit when I can own 100% of it? Well, they'll do what they always do. They'll say, we'll give you 500. But see, even with that, that's going to be a tough sell, because at the point people know now is they're not needed. You know, they're just not, they're not needed.
Let me tell you what the record industry did in the late 80s. When CDs first started coming out, right? The record companies sued manufacturers because of the digital quality, because the record industry knew that, you know, once the digital is out there, you know, you can't bootleg. You can bootleg a cassette or a record, and you're going to get a degraded copy or whatever. But with a CD, you're going to get digital to digital. Make a long story short, one of the reasons that CDs cost so much in the 90s is because there was a special tax on the CD that went to the record industry. To cover whatever revenue loss, the potential of having a digital copy out there.
Right.
Fast forward this to 2020 to the 2020s, right? The record company will find a way to tax or to get some money off of these NFTs because they just can. Just like we found out earlier. Right.
They don't pay somebody off.
Right. We found out earlier this year Spotify is owned by the three major and they sit on the board. So it's like, I hear what you saying, but I already know.
Yeah, you know
that beast is crafty.
It's like, remember they were throwing these independent artists that were not independent. They really were signed to like labels, industry plans, basically.
Facts.
Right. So it is kind of the same thing. These artists were out here saying they were independent, they weren't. But I think with NFTs, what I expect them to do is fake like they're an NFT label or whatever or company trying to help artists, but behind the scenes, you know, really trying to do the same thing. They're gonna have a much more difficult problem, because the way the NFT is formatted and the way it's set up is going to cause them a lot of technical issues.
So it goes back to content, how important your content is and valuable. You know what I'm saying? For you to protect your content, because again, other people are making money off of you. And so if you get, you know, understand these NFTs, I guess I don't know if this kind of correlates with, you know, recently Tina Turner, you know, selling her copies, you know, her copyright, you know, her catalog, for $500 million or so?
Oh, 500 sounds about right.
No, it's actually
no 50. What? No,
I said 50.
Yeah, 50 million. Yes,
50 million.
Not enough.
No, that's not enough. But but given Tina Turner's history, you know, and if you watch the documentary, which is on my list of, if you're an independent artist, that's one of the documentaries you need to watch.
Yeah.
You know, in her case, if that music is attached to trauma, you know, she's ready to, you know, live her life because everybody's gonna bring up Ike or whatever.
Right, she's gonna let it go.
Exactly. But here's the main idea. Here's the main point. Without content, this ain't gonna be even a conversation for you. Right? You got to get your content up. And so that's always that essential question for an independent artist. You know, where am I gonna spend my money?
Right.
Where am I gonna put my money on? Am I gonna put my money on building a website, or am I
Right.
going to take that same money to increase my content and get it somewhere where everybody's just going to have access to it? You know,
Right.
so to me,
Right.
right now, content is king.
Right.
Content is king.
Yeah.
Content that you own, that you own the copyright to, that you
Right.
didn't do a lease beat, because we
Right.
anti-lease beats.
Yeah, I talk about not leasing beats all the time.
Yes, sir. Anti-lease beat.
Yep.
Get you a producer that knows how to produce. How about that?
Right.
But
we got two of them right up here. Hey,
you know,
you know,
yeah. And so, but that content that you own is going to be so valuable, not only you, but to your children, your children's children, or whatever. And so, you know, just make sure you do your business right, and make sure you get your content, and make sure you own it.
Right.
Yeah.
and believe in yourself. Okay, again, you are a creative genius just like the others out there. Believe in yourself, and don't cut corners. All right, I mean,
Yeah, but the problem is, I think this is where we're running into the issues. I think this is why Boom Bap Nation is going so hard against social media artists, because the quality of what's being put out, they're saying, is not of quality, and that you're hurting the culture. I think that is a true fact. This is perfect example. Back in the day, now I'm not gonna bash FL Studio, but back in the day when people were just calling it Fruity Loops, you would never tell anybody you were using that.
Man, no.
You would never in life tell somebody that you were using that. But what we see the benefit of it now was, first of all, Fruity Loops, trap in general. Hey, Buju Banton said it best. He was one of my favorite reggae dancehall artists. He said trap music flattens out the purpose of whatever the music is. And he said it takes the dance out of dance hall. It takes the hip out of hip hop. It takes whatever it takes whatever is the primary content, and it flattens it like disco did. He compared it to disco, which disco took R&B and flattened it. With same beats, same rhythm, same everything. Everyone was copying. If you look at the correlation, is absolutely spooky. You know, look at R&B before disco hit, and it was versatile. You had to know how to sing. Like the quality of artists was much greater. Disco came, and then anybody could do it. You know,
it's kind of like history is repeating itself.
Yeah, it's always that way.
You know, it's funny though, because even it's repeating itself, and it does flatten it out. But at the end of the day, like Ron said, you still got to be good. You know what I mean? Your content it's not enough to just own your content. You got to own some good content.
These guys are trash, though. But I think that's the problem. Some of these guys are trash, and they're not even good. But within the sphere of trap music, it almost don't even matter, because sometimes I hold my head and going, how? You know,
like I don't know about you, bro, but for me, if you're not rapping on the beat, I just, what are you doing?
But see, that's why I'm saying most people come from Boom Bap Nation. We are true hip hop fans.
Right.
Social media artists, like you had these cats flat out saying that they were not rappers. B, they're gonna mumble through the beat. That mumble pushback was hard for them, though. At first, they didn't care, but then they really was getting heat for being mumble rappers, and then they tried to change and start letting us hear what they were saying. But they were getting away with it, and so even now, you know, people now finally cleaned it up, lyrically got better in trap music, where you can understand what the heck they were saying. But I think the premise is still now is what I hear a lot of people saying is everyone's just mimicking each other. There's no one you could say this person sounds original within trap. Like you hear them, you'd be like, dude, that's fire. You know, I can't think.
Just no creativity like it's really like it used to be back in the day. So
I already know you're gonna I know you're gonna do that. I know the cadence before you do it.
Right, and it's gonna be all vocoded. It's gonna be auto-tuned. It's gonna be
so there's no. Yeah. So it's fast food music, hip hop. So I already know what you're gonna feed me.
That's a good point.
You already know what you're gonna feed me before you even. Soon as the beat drops, soon as in the first 4 bars, I already know the key you're gonna be in, what you're gonna sing in it, and I'm already bored. But I had 1 million streams. I'm not saying that you didn't have 1 million streams if you didn't buy them. But I'm saying is, as an artist, you shouldn't want that to be your stamp. I'm saying is, do you want to sit up as a DJ? Perfect example.
Mhm.
If DJ Qbert is right here to my left, and just an automated program is right to my right, which one of these things are going to teach you more?
Qbert.
You know, Qbert's going to teach you more. Are you going to learn more from records or CDs? There's all these questions. From traps, what do you learn? What are you going to learn from trap, doing trap music, a whole album full of trap?
Not much. Yeah, and I know. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't be listening.
Right, and that further gets complicated when Christian artists mimic what the trap artists are doing.
Exactly.
So if trap music flattens the purpose of hip hop,
yeah,
then Christian trap music really flattens the purpose. Right?
All the way flat.
Right.
But
yeah.
Well, that's been the gospel issue since music. You know, we've always tried to copy what's trending.
Right. And we had moments. We had a moment. I feel like the moment I think we had was the year before Reach, when Lecrae was still doing Outreach. I think that 15 years ago, maybe. Right when I would say right when Cross Movement came out.
That was back in the late 90s.
I would say
that's about 20 years ago, actually.
I would say from Cross Movement, because they were still Boom Bap Nation. Even their approach to it was very hip hop.
That
From
Wu-Tang.
all the way up to early Lecrae. Because in between, we start seeing identities. Like, to me, I felt like people's identity was more ingrained. You're like, okay, I know who you are based off of what you sound like. If someone came on, they didn't sound like somebody else to me. You know what I mean? Right. Maybe other than BBJ, because he sounds just like Biggie. But just like Biggie.
Yeah.
But I think when trap hit, it shook everybody. People were so desperate to make it. That's what I'm gonna say. People were so desperate to make it and to be relevant. The only thing they knew was to copy what they felt was relevant at the time. No one knew that the reason Lil Uzi Vert, he had 92 million views on this video he had made before they put it on that movie. But they didn't know that most of the comments were all negative. Over 90% of the comments were negative about his rap style. B, he didn't know that a lot of that stuff was pay to play. And for like a 2-year period, when the pay to play stuff, there was a company here in Houston that was doing the fake streaming, who got raided by the feds. They were the ones that was boosting all these numbers for these mumble rappers. Everybody assumed that these artists and this style was hot based off of the numbers, but they didn't know about the buying streams. That wasn't public knowledge at the time. So what happened was you just saw 90 million views and you thought it was authentic. So you copied fakeness, and then all these other people copied fakeness. And by the time people realized it, they were fake. But they were too deep into the game now. They've built their whole platform on fakeness, and they don't know how to fix it.
That's a very good point, bro.
That is man. Why did you say that at the top? That's a really good point. I like that.
They still stuck.
Hey, Ron, wake up, Crawley. I think I know a scripture about that.
Oh yeah.
They built their house on sand.
Sinking sand. Yeah, exactly, man. Wow. Yeah. Hey, man, great show, guys. Again, hey, this is Music Industry Makeover. Hopefully, you know, whatever we talked about today, you know, that y'all got something out of it, and make sure you definitely get in contact with us. Hey, Arquise, man, how can people get in contact with you?
Okay, look, I'm on the low right now because there's some great things coming. As you guys, a lot of people aren't aware. I exist in different platforms. I'm still an R&B artist. I'm doing the Arquise and the Food for Thought project right now. I'm doing a 80s principle with Prince spelled out project, which is gonna be bananas.
Man, I can't wait to hear this.
Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute.
Oh yeah, that's his
Wait a
man right
minute.
there. Hey, that's his artist.
So
Hey, I'm still a purple disciple, so me and you need to have a talk.
but you guys have to understand, I was raised by the Escovedos. That's Sheila E., Pete Escovedo, Wanda. I was raised when I lived in the Bay, that I was raised in that environment, along with having a lot of access to Prince. I'm very thankful for that. But so I will say stay tuned to this show because we'll come on and talk about it. But next time we come on, I do want to talk about these.
Man. Hey, well, you know what? Hey.
I do. That's
Hey.
That's Tupac. That's
Hey, we got a
Dominic
few
Wilkins.
minutes. Let's go. Hey,
Let me tell it. Look, everybody, if you're black, if you're not, better listen to me right now. This company, that's Prince. This company, Funko, during the pandemic, made ridiculous amount of money. And this is addicting, but I want you to understand something. All of the black content, when the DMX comes out, let me tell you, it's going to be ridiculous. These things would go for $8, right? But it's like NFTs and other stuff. You buy today for $8, and the next thing you know, it gets popular, and then it's $60, one box, right? But listen what I'm telling you. Most black people don't even know about these, and you don't own any of the black content. You don't own Biggie. They have Biggie, Tupac. They have TLC. If you name it, they're coming out with it. They got Ice Cube and a daggone low ride. This company is brilliant, and they know what they're doing, except we're going to be late. By the time black culture figures out this is hot, guess who's going to own all of them? Not us. We're not going to own it. And we're going to be paying the more premium price. But the reason I'm telling you about this is they're starting NFTs, but I want you to understand the licensing and all the stuff around these Funko Pops. The reason I'm telling you that is this product is just like CDs. When the approach that they're taking is the same approach we need to be taking with our music, because now this guy started in his garage and he's filthy rich. But you got to start investing in yourself. This dude was in a garage.
There you go. Making
these, and he is filthy rich. Spend money on yourself. And when I say that, I'm sorry, Universal Audio is expensive. But if you want good equipment, go get it. Yes, MPC software and equipment is expensive. Them MPC Live, MPC, all this other stuff, which is the best. I don't care what none of y'all say. MPC is expensive, but the only way for you to excel and to be the best, these microphones, they're expensive. Just like being a photographer, a friend of mine's lens costs $5,000. I said, why does that lens cost $5,000? I don't understand it. So I'm just saying to all artists, stop being cheap, spend money on yourself, set up your business correctly so you can write this stuff off. And stop giving producers and engineers a hard time about how much stuff costs. Hello, welcome to the music industry. Welcome.
Facts.
Right, yes, all facts. But hey, yeah, next time you come on, yeah, we definitely want to go in depth on that as well. And I'm like, because I have seen it on social media, but I ain't paying much attention to it. But I'm like, man,
bro. The fact that you see a Prince one over here and a Tupac one over here should be that's a shot across the bow.
Man, oh my!
What they know about Tupac? This company is in Seattle. I went there. This company is in the most whitest city I've ever seen. But they know enough about us to make our product.
I wonder why.
They know something that we don't.
Hey, well, it's been a process that's been going on for years. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
So we need to change that narrative. And wow. Yeah. Well, again, thank you all so much for joining us on the Music Industry Makeover. Again, y'all go out and spread the word. Go check us out, musicindustrymakeover.com. And again, invest in yourself.
Yeah, let's talk about recording. Let's talk about next time we come on. Let's talk about recording, mixing, producing, recording. Let's really break down the process for an artist.
Hey, yeah, hey.
Love it. Hey,
when you come to the studio, this is what's going to happen.
Oh man, that's gonna be a hot show. So yeah, next week, y'all. All right, recording and mixing.
The studio is not the place for you to write.
It's not a rehearsal hall. It's not a rehearsal studio. I mean, you help me out. You do help me out rehearsing and free money. I appreciate you.
Look, and I'm sorry if you got to read your lyrics from your phone. You don't know that song well enough to record. But let me mute my mic.
Well, y'all are heating up already.
All right, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it.
All right, y'all. And y'all have a blessed one. We'll see you. All right. Stay safe out there. Okay.
Yes. All right. Peace and grace.
Yeah.